Yo, welcome back guys to another one of my epic 7 should you pull videos for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about the two current banner units that are running in the rotation. And it is a week before the collab, so before I even get started, if you guys don't have a lot of bookmarks saved up, right off the bat guys, you definitely are going to want to skip both banners no matter how good they are, because Sigret and Kise are going to be returning in the future in another banner. But since we have the collab next week, if you guys miss out on those collab units, you guys are going to, at best, have to wait another year to pull those units, and at worst, they might not even return. So that being said, definitely want to save your bookmarks and make sure that your first priority is having enough to pity both of the collab units, Roy and also Edward. And if that's the case, and you guys have a lot of bookmarks saved up or Skystone saved up, then you guys can consider pulling on Sigret or Kise's banner. Now that being said, before we get started with this video though guys, if you guys aren't already subscribed to the channel and you guys are enjoying the content, then make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I really do plan to release a lot more videos based on the collab, especially since we have a lot of newer players. I'll be helping out in the early game for a lot of you newer players out there in the near future. That being said, let's talk about the two current banner units as well as their artifacts. So the first one is Sigret. Now Sigret used to be a must pull on every single time she ran because of the fact that a lot of people didn't end up pulling her from the selective summon, but now you actually don't even need to pull her from the selective summon, and you do not need to pull on her banner ever, because we actually get her for free. So if you guys did not know, if you guys go to the event tab here, you'll actually see that there is going to be a Hunt Expert Challenge. Now it is considered a special event, but this is going to run pretty much forever, I believe. And you basically get to choose Vivian, Sirmia, or Sigret, and you get to fill out their quest. As you see on your screen here, this is the quest for Sirmia, and you'll be able to get that unit for free. So this is the quest for Sirmia. I'll get Sirmia and 6 Stadium Jokers, and you do the same thing for Vivian and Sigret, and you can get every single unit. You don't choose just one, you just pick one, fill out the quest for that, and you get to choose another one. So you'll eventually be able to get every unit, meaning that Sigret is essentially free to play, so you actually don't ever need to pull for her ever. You'll always get a free copy. Now if you guys do like using Operator Sigret, I like using her for sure. She's a very good counter to Hwayang, and if you guys are in the mid to late game and have a lot of bookmarks pulled saved up, you guys might want to actually pull for dupes of Sigret to actually imprint your Operator Sigret here, because she gets attack. And Operator Sigret, as you guys know, is very hard to gear. You need to reach certain breakpoints with her, right? You need 250 speed. And honestly, my Sigret, Operator Sigret, is a little bit low on the damage end, so imprints would definitely help me. But because I don't have that many Skystones, I probably will skip. And imprints definitely do help Operator Sigret a lot. She's very meta because Hwayang is very meta as well. And Operator Sigret is a good Hwayang counter. But besides that, you should definitely skip on this banner. Definitely not worth it. We do have the collab coming up, like I said, and even if the collab wasn't coming up, Sigret is a easy skip for now. Now let's talk about her artifacts. So we have her artifact here, and her artifact is going to be Cradle of Life. So Cradle of Life, guys, you're not going to really ever, max limit break this, because honestly, you're going to want to skip this. This artifact's not that great. You don't need a lot of dupes of it because it's not that good. It goes from a 40% to an 80% chance at max rank, actually 60 to 80, because you can plus 15 this for free. But it's a random debuff. So random debuffs are never that great, because you're going to see here these debuffs are kind of bad. It is decreased attack, which is probably the best one. Decreased hit chance, which is also very, very good. Then you have burn and bleeding, and burn and bleeding are pretty bad, especially in PvP. This does last for 2 turns though, but it will only work on single attacks. Now this used to be very good in the past for Wyvern, right? You could put this on like pretty much any warrior, like Terran or Guard. Sigret was okay with it as well. But the thing is, we have so many units that have built-in debuffs now, right? Sigret already has a million debuffs. Like Sigret is a unit that you get for free, like I said, but you always want to use her in your Wyvern team. She has 2 debuffs on her S1, 2 debuffs on her S2. You can actually land 4 debuffs with her S2 if you use it when the enemy's health is lower than 50%. And her S3 does not have debuffs, but it's a lot of damage. So you're always going to want to run her on Daydream Joker because of the fact that her S3 does a lot of damage. She already has a lot of debuffs built in, so it doesn't really make sense to run Cradle of Life on her, and Sigret can basically solo debuff the boss for you, so there's no reason to actually use this artifact ever. You're way better off just running Daydream Joker on your damage dealing units. It'll speed up your runs, and Cradle of Life usually is just an overkill for debuffs. You only need at most 3 on the boss, and you're also going to be running Furious and Mui or even Clarissa or whatnot, and you have a ton of debuffs to work with. So Cradle of Life, I think this artifact definitely needs a rework. definitely easy skip. Do not buy this with your powder. Honestly, if you end up pulling this randomly on your daily summons, this is a really good candidate to just actually powder. But obviously you do want to keep one copy at least because it might get reworked. You never know. So yeah, now let's talk about Kise. So Kise, actually a very, very underrated unit. So you guys probably already know what Kise does. Maybe you don't. I didn't go over Sigret's skills because, you know, everyone knows what she does. But Kise is a very good Hwayang counter and an opener. She's very fast. Her S3 is a single target attack that will increase skill cooldowns by 1 turn twice. You can push back skill cooldowns by 2 turns if you don't get 15% in. This will also give you stealth and a barrier and CR push yourself by 50%. And that barrier is really thick because you are going to be scaling that with your own attack, and she's built on pretty high attack. Now the damage dealt will also increase proportional to her current health, so that healthier she is, the more damage she does. So you're going to want to use that as an opener. S2 is an AoE attack. It is going to be a 30% defense penetration, going up to 60% if she's stealthed, which she gets from her S3. And her S1 is a single target attack that does 70% more damage when the target is buffed. And you soul burn this for only 10 souls, and it'll do even more damage. Now this S1, guys, hits super hard. With attack buff and even like vigor buff, you can one-shot Hwayangs if you soul burn this. Like, it's insane. This unit does crazy amount of damage, has a lot of opening capabilities. Only thing is she's very hard to gear because you're going to want to aim for 270 speed and also very high damage, right? Kind of like Operator Sigret. But the thing is, a lot of units will outspeed her nowadays, right? You have like Conquer Ilias, you have Ran, you have AOL. There's just so many units that can outspeed her. Even like Diens and Amelias will commonly outspeed her. So, you know, if you don't take the first turn with Kise on your team, you're probably going to lose because she's really reliant on getting her S3 off and not getting it stripped. And like we know, there's a lot of dispels and strips in the game. So yeah, Kise, pretty much only a PvP unit. You will never use her in PvE at all. She is not that great in PvE anywhere, to be honest. But in PvP, she is a decent counter to Hwayang, especially in Guild Wars offense. Even in World Arena or RTA, if you can pick her, she's pretty decent against Hwayangs, like I said, and even like Carrots. But she's pretty niche, so I can't really recommend pulling for her. And her ML counterpart, Judge Kise, you know, not really used at all either. So yeah, I think Kise is an easy skip as well. Yeah, also the collab is coming up, so it's really hard to justify. Now let's talk about her artifact real quick. So Albastron. So this artifact, not that great. You're going to see it is a flat effectiveness chance boost, and you have a chance to increase speed at the end of your turn. I think this would be way better if the first instance of getting speed was 100%, and then after that you have a chance. But because there's RNG built in for that speed, not that great. You're pretty much just using this for the effectiveness, and you know, a lot of thieves don't really need effectiveness, right? A lot of thieves that are openers or cleavers, you're better off just going full damage artifacts, right? Like Sword of Midnight, what is it called? The artifact for Green Villager, right? The one that Ran uses. You're way better off using an artifact like that instead, because you know, you're just doing a lot of damage. Thieves do a lot of damage. They have very high base damage. Let me see if I can find the artifact, because it is bothering me that I don't know the name. But I'm pretty sure Sword of Summer Twilight. Okay, close. But yeah, might as well just use this artifact on Rand. He doesn't need that effectiveness. And you know, can't really think of a lot of thieves out there that use Albastron. There might be one or two, but you know, you can always use other artifacts. And you can always use like RNL, right? RNL is just a lot better. The artifact that gives you an extra turn here. Let me just show you guys, because yeah, Rihanna and Luciella. Might as well use this one on a thief opener. That's very fast, right? So yeah, that being said, you know, both banners, easy skips, both artifacts, don't buy. Very simple. Collab is coming up as well. But even if the collab wasn't coming up, I would still say the same. These units are nothing too great because Sigret is very powerful, but you can get her for free from that event I showed you. And some of you guys might have already pulled her from the selective summon, which is fine. Kise, you know, very niche and very hard to build, and you know, honestly not really worth investing into in the current state. And both artifacts are just trash. So yeah, that being said, just skip everything, save for the collab. You know, I think this video kind of dragged on a lot longer than it needed to, but I kind of wanted to talk about it in depth in case you guys were actually wondering the reasoning behind, you know, why you shouldn't be pulling from these units or buying the artifact. So that being said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and keep saving for that collab, guys. We have these OP units coming out, and I'll be covering them in a future video. I'll see you guys next time, and have a great week. Peace.